Question 2.1.4, which term in the sequence has the least value? So in simple terms, what this least value means, and since we're dealing with a quadratic, this makes it easier to understand. It's the fact that they want you to figure out what is the turning point. Because if we remember correctly, our Tn formula, our Tn equation was n squared minus 34n plus 354. Here we have to know a bit of functions. So n squared, that basically means that our a value is positive. So if a is positive, we have a smiley face parabola, which means we have a lowest value. So this basically means we have the smallest or the lowest value. So in actual graphical terms, they're basically telling you find the turning point, and that is what the least value is. So, and they want to know the term. So in this instance, we just find the n value. So there's two ways to do this. We can either use calculus to do this, right? So I know this is part of number patterns. So we can go ahead and use some calculus here if we know some calculus. But let's first do our normal standard turning point, then we can go look at the other methods. So firstly, let's look at option 1. And in option 1, we need to use our turning point formula, minus b over 2a. So in this instance, x is like our n here, since that's part of the subject of the function, and b is minus 34. Times 1. And thereafter, we should get 34 divided by 2. And that tells us that the 17th term would be the smallest. So we don't know what that is, or we can figure it out, but they didn't ask for it. But the 17th term, it will have the smallest value. And if we look at option 2, we should get the exact same value. And what we would do here is we would actually find the derivative of our Tn formula. So here, if that's n, we would find the derivative of Fn. And that should give us 2n minus 34. And since we want the turning point, we can equate this to 0. And therefore, we can say 2n minus 34 is equal to 0. Get that on one side. And therefore, n is equals to 17. And again, as you can see, our answers match. So therefore, T17 is the smallest. Would have the smallest value. And if we wanted to actually figure out what the actual smallest value is, we would take 17 and sub it into our original Tn function, and that would give us that correct answer there.